to be proactive rather than reactive when dealing with my finances. Because I've always got a renovation project on my mind. So I want to know where my money's going so I can channel some of it toward my dream renovations. You might be like me and planning for some renovation of your home, or maybe you just want to think about paying off a debt, building your emergency fund, or saving for a major milestone like buying a home or your kids' education. You can do all of that with Monarch. Monarch is the all-in-one personal finance tool designed to make your life easier. Monarch helps me feel aware and in control of my finances. Head to Monarch and you'll get 50% off your Monarch subscription with the code DECORATING. Unlike most other personal finance apps, Monarch is built to make you proactive, not just reactive. And that's what I really want. Set yourself up for financial success in 2026 with Monarch, the all-in-one tool that makes proactive money management simple all year long. Use code DECORATING at monarch.com for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with the code DECORATING.
Don't downsize, right size. Hi, I'm Anita Joyce here with Kelly Wildness, and this is Decorating Tips and Tricks. Today we are talking about downsizing without moving. Redesign your home from the inside. Because Kelly, you can change your home without changing your address.
Ooh, that is really clever little saying there. I like that a lot. There's a lot of reasons why you might not want to downsize. It was like a thing. I don't know, just sort of a mentality or like a certain point in your life, or your kids are out, they're in college, they've graduated, they've actually, dare I say, gotten jobs and done things like that. And you're looking around your house saying, okay, what is next for me? Some of you might be in that position now. Some of you might have already experienced that, and some of you, and most of you probably that are listening, will experience something akin to that in the coming years. So it's something that Anita and I wanted to talk about. We have some tips. We also have a DTT Plus episode coming up focusing on forever homes. So it's sort of a related concept. And we're excited to have that discussion with each other and with you. But today we're talking about ways you can stay where you are, and not necessarily like, here's where you put the grab bar in the shower type of tips.
Well, we do have an episode on forever homes that we can link to.
Right.
So that's the stuff that you can do if you want to stay in your home for the long haul. But, that's interesting, Kelly, because we moved recently. Society and influencers are telling us all, you need to downsize, downsize, downsize. And I thought it might be nice to downsize now that we're moving because there's just two of us living here now. But this was kind of a point of argument. Not argument, not a mean fight, but just kind of a discussion. And Kevin rightfully said, you know what, we have both girls visiting us. I don't think really it's time to downsize at this point. So I agreed with that. I said, okay. And it turns out I didn't anticipate my mother moving down close by and my brother coming to visit my mother and staying with me. And then when he comes, then my mom stays here. My other family members have come to visit my mom. And then I have both of my girls here. So we've had a full house several times. And the other thing is that now that we have more space, more people are wanting to come out to the country for a visit because before we did not have a guest bedroom, but now we do. So it turns out that the bigger house ended up working a lot better for us right now. So we might downsize in the future, but it didn't make sense this time. And it might not make sense for you.
Yes. You looked all around. You explored all different options and ended up, square footage wise, maybe upsizing a little bit, but it's working for your lifestyle. And that's, I think, the key point to take away from what you just explained to us is that right now you do have a bit of a hub there in Round Top, and that's wonderful. And, or maybe some days you wish you weren't much of a hub. That's okay too.
It depends.
Yeah, day to day, But there's lots of things to consider when you're deciding whether or not to stay where you are. And community is so important. If you are established in a community and you have friends, they don't have to be your best friends, but you have neighbors that you rely on and they rely on you. And you just have a sense of security and familiarity. There's a lot to be said about that. And if you leave that, you may not get that again where you go. My parents moved very early on. My dad retired early and they went to a beautiful golf community in Florida and thought, okay, that's great. They didn't want to have two houses, but then they realized the place that they moved, everybody else went someplace else in the summer.
Well, you can't stay there in the summer.
It was a ghost town. So that didn't work out. So they've had several moves. Now they're in North Carolina in a place that they really love.
That's called the halfback. Halfway back to New York. Yeah.
Yes, I've heard that, or the J. Yes, you go to Florida and then you come back up, for the leaves or whatnot. But yes, they have done that and they're very, very happy where they are now. But it took a few moves.
They're in a gorgeous place. So.
They are in a gorgeous place. So anyway, if you're in that situation now or you're thinking in the future, we just wanted to have this conversation with y'all because there are things that you can do to your house that you're in right now that can make it feel like you've consolidated. Let's not just say downsize, but you may be using it in a different way as well. So it can open up opportunities to experience your current home in ways that you hadn't anticipated.
Well, you've talked about why you might want to stay in your current house. So you're a part of the community. You might miss that community. That might be a reason not to move. What if you love where you live? What if you love your house? I know you love your house and you're planning to stay there for quite a while.
Oh, I plan on being the old lady from Pasadena. You know that song, right? Yeah. So I'm not there yet, but I plan on being there. And I do think about things like, well, what will happen at this point? There's a lot of stairs. I don't know, but that would be my goal. I would like to stay in this house. I just love this house and I love this community. And God forbid, if you did get sick, there's world-class medical facilities. Right. If you could walk there, you could walk to them. That's how close they are here. And all kinds of, it's just, Pasadena is a great town. The Rose Parade, all the things, the weather's great. So there's really no reason. A lot of times I think people think about moving when they get older or to a certain point when they have the luxury of having enough money, maybe they can retire or change their careers or something, and they think about moving someplace warmer. Well, I'm already someplace warm. So, you can take that right out of the equation.
No, if I move, I'm moving someplace cooler, not home.
Where you don't need a ceiling fan.
It's interesting.
Remember that linen wingback bed I told you about from Quince? Well, I just finished off the client's bedroom using Quince's luster velvet draperies. Absolutely stunning. I chose the silver and it has this pearl essence to it and it blocks the light. It hangs beautifully and really finishes off the room in high style. Your home, like my clients, should be a place you actually want to be in. And Quince makes that possible and accessible with their quality items at affordable prices. And how can Quince offer that pricing on their home goods? Well, they work directly with safe, ethical factories and cut out the middleman so you're not paying that retail markup. You're getting quality home upgrades at an affordable price. And everything at Quince is made with natural materials with a timeless style. Transform your space now. Go to quince.com/DTT for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT.
Interesting that we're talking about downsizing because I have a lot of older neighbors here. And do you know what they're doing? Yeah. They're adding guest houses. They're adding she sheds. A friend of ours, our neighbor, is adding a she shed for her quilting. And then the husband says it needs to be big enough for guests. So, I mean, they're basically buying a whole nother house, basically. So I don't see a lot of people near me downsizing, no matter what their age is. And I think it's all just kind of dependent on, like you said, how you're using your home. Because I think sometimes people downsize for less taxes and less property to take care of.
Mm-hmm.
And let's talk about how to better use that house. So, if she really wants to do the quilting and didn't want to build the new building, she could have turned a spare bedroom into a quilting room. Take the bed out, put the tables in there. There's so much you can do to reclaim the space. So,
Anita, I think the quilting is a bit of a pretext for just trying to have her own private space. I'm going to be out here quilting, Bob, and I will see you in a week. I don't know. I might explore that a little bit more. But yeah, because you could probably quilt anywhere in your own home. But
well, it does require
I'm not a quilter, messy. So what do I know?
It is messy from what I've seen. So
okay.
I can see it. Well, she's actually married to someone very sweet, but I can see a situation where you might need your own space.
That's a code word. I need a quilt shed. Okay. Gotcha, that's girl. Right. We got you covered. So things you can think about with the home that you're currently in. But yes, think about the quilter. Think about things that you might want to be doing with those rooms rather than just having them be dead space. Turn that into a gym. Turn that into a quilting studio. Turn that into a podcast studio. Whatever you want to do. So we talk about that all the time, that we don't want you to have unused rooms in your home just for the sake of having a guest room that somebody might stay in.
Well, I think you make a good point, is that you really need to focus on how you use the space 90% of the time. If you have a guest once a year, do you really want to tie up that bedroom into just a use that you have for once a year? Why not make it a space that you can use throughout the year, and maybe just do a Murphy bed for that one night a year that you have somebody come over? So I think this is really a focus on making the house work for you and not the way maybe the realtor tells you it should be used. So maybe you have a dining room, but you don't use it. Well, then repurpose it for something else, the way that you personally live. And I think the same thing with bedrooms. They don't have to be used as bedrooms. They could be a yoga room or, like you said, quilting or whatever. I think it's best to really think about the way you live and make the house format fit your life.
Yes. And a way to approach this is, if you're starting to think about this, or you're in the midst of possibly downsizing, you're looking around, do an exercise in pros and cons. It's such a great way to get clarity. It sounds like, oh yeah, of course, make a list of pros and cons. People do that for all sorts of things, but I think it really is helpful. I know it's always very helpful to me to write things down. So if you just take a pad of paper and split it in half, or do it on your computer, I think for me, handwriting really just kind of makes me think more rather than typing on the computer. So I would really drill down on, what do you love about your house, and what do you love about the community that your home is in? If that list is super short, then maybe you want to consider downsizing or just laterally moving somewhere else. But if that list, like I would imagine most people, if you've lived in a place for a long time, there's probably a lot of things you love about it. And then make the list. Then the other side of the page is the cons. Well, what would happen if you did move? What would you lose? What would change? And weigh it and take some time. Don't just knee jerk this decision, because once you leave, you're gone. Right. And you sell your house, you're not going to come buy your house back, more than likely. You're not going to come back to the neighborhood and move 3 blocks away. So it is a big change. And we do really feel, Anita and I were discussing this, and that's how this topic came up, is that the culture is so pervasive that people at a certain time in their life should just go off someplace else, whether it's for recreation purposes or weather or all of that. But maybe that's not what people want to be doing anymore.
Well, that's right. I think it's really important to think about your situation and don't do a knee jerk, because maybe you don't want less space, or maybe you do. Maybe you want to stay where you are, but maybe this is freeing you up to go someplace that you've always dreamed of living. I think you really need to not be doing what other people are doing, but doing what makes sense for you. And, I'm thinking too about people say, well, it's too stressful cleaning the house. I want a smaller house because I don't want to clean this bigger house. Well, can you get a housekeeper? Can you afford that? And if not, well, whether you get a housekeeper or not, think about, can you declutter your house a little bit so that cleaning it is not as big an ordeal as it has been? I mean, so there's a lot of things to really think about here and a lot of ways you can make your house work for you, because I think you're right. You cannot go back. You cannot, once you sell your house, it's a pretty permanent change. In fact, the people that we bought our house from came back, I am not even kidding, a few months later and wanted to buy it back.
The people that sold your current home to you came back and wanted to buy it back?
Yes.
Oh,
I know.
Wow. So what did they just do? Knock on the door? You never told me that. They just knocked on the door and was like, hey, can we buy our house back?
Well, I mean, we saw them socially and they kind of casually mentioned, I mean, kind of in a joking, but not, but actually they told several neighbors they were interested. Well, they had moved away to another state. They have since moved back and bought another house in the area, maybe 15 minutes
So they
away.
just did. They did what we just said you wouldn't do.
Yes. So, exactly. So really think it through, because it's like you said, once your house is sold, I mean, you can go back to the neighborhood, but not to your house, and it may not feel the same. So really think about it. And we're not saying don't downsize, but really kind of think it through. These big decisions really need some time to think them through and make sure. Although I will say we decided in one day to move, just like kind of, and our accountant was like, what are you doing? Like, don't be doing this. We're like, no, we're good. And actually it's been fine.
Yeah, well, you're a bit of a leaper, but I mean, your one day, you must have been noodling on this. You looked at a lot of houses.
I was aware.
Well, it wasn't just a one day, let's go buy this farmhouse.
No, that's right.
Somewhere.
I mean, because we had the weekend house out here for years. Yeah, so,
right. So
I
you
knew
had
the
already
area.
dipped into the area. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, lots of energy, lots of time, and lots of budget goes into moving, too. There is nothing inexpensive or stress-free about moving. So that's things to consider as well. Are you up for that? Do you really want to have to get rid of so much of your stuff? We do encourage the purge, but if you have a lot of things that you really love, it's super important to be surrounded by the things you love. So maybe you want to keep your furniture. Maybe you want to keep, your big dining table because it makes you happy because you think about your family being around it, or, the times now in the future that other people can be around it of your family, or as your family grows. So all these things to consider. A way to use your current home, even if it's a little bit bigger than maybe what your needs are, is to sort of physically tighten the layout a little bit. Think about how you really use your home and where you gravitate towards, and double down on those spaces. So maybe you are in the kitchen and then a certain area in the den, and of course you're spending time in your bedroom. Well, we're not saying don't use the other spaces. We're saying, make a yoga studio out of the guest room, but make the spaces you use the most even better for you, that they support you even more. Is the lighting a little less than it needs to be where you like to read your books or flip through your gorgeous decor magazines? Well, then improve the lighting in that area. Could you use new seat cushions in the kitchen, at the table, or at the island? Well, get yourself some. Do the things that will improve the spaces that you really do use to help you love your house even more and enjoy it even more.
That's exactly what we talk about all the time. Really focus on your home, how you live, how you want it to be. Make sure it's decorated in a way that makes it beautiful for you. Declutter it. I mean, just make sure the space fits your life. I mean, this is what we really preach every day, but I think it's specific to downsizing. Really just think it through. And we're not anti-downsizing, but we're anti-do a knee-jerk decision that's going to be so impactful in your life. Don't do it without thinking about it first.
Yeah, and if you have something like the she shed, or you're able to build an ADU, or you're able to convert part of your garage to a living space, maybe you can even use that as income. I mean, Airbnb, you could maybe even rent it out on a more full-time basis. Obviously you don't want somebody coming through and, sharing the bathroom with you and then living out in your garage. But if there's a way to have your own property become income producing, that's another thing to consider. I think if I end up being alone here, women do last a bit longer. I mean, my guy's in fabulous shape, but you never know. I thought I want to just get a hot handyman to live out in the back house.
Because she's already planning all of this.
I'm a planner. I'm a Capricorn. And by the way, happy belated birthday. We did share happy birthdays to each other via text. Yes. Anita sent me a very funny text. But yes, we recently had our birthday. And if you don't know this and you've been listening to us, it's a little weird, but we were born on the same day. Not the same year, but the same day.
Right.
Kind of makes sense after all this time.
One of my neighbors, I found out we were born in the same hospital in a different state. Not the same day, but again, that seemed weird to me.
Wait a minute. Tell me that again. You were born in the same hospital in a different state? How is that possible?
No, I'm sorry. My neighbor was born in the same hospital I was born in, but it wasn't in Texas. It was in we were both born in the same hospital, but that hospital is not in Texas.
Oh, yes.
I'm saying if we were born in the same hospital, but it was 10 miles from here, you're like, what's the big deal? But anyway.
Oh, so you were both born in New Jersey? Yes? Is that right?
No, Oklahoma. No.
Oklahoma. Oh, you lived in New Jersey.
Yeah.
So much to learn about you even after 9+ years of talking. She's an onion, everyone. Absolute onion. So, yeah, think about that. I mean, I joke, but, kind of not really joking. If I needed the income, I could rent the back house out. It's a possibility. Do you have that possibility on your property where you could actually make some income from it as a temporary rental, Airbnb, or what have you?
I know people who have rented out a room or a part of their home to people they know for the income. And it's worked out well for them. Actually, I know several people that have done that where they've kind of rented out part of their house and it's worked out very well. But yeah, Airbnb is a little different story, different people all the time. That one I wouldn't be so crazy about unless it was a separate building.
So I don't know if I'd want to share my own footprint with someone I didn't know or, knew but wasn't related to or married to. But, it's just consideration. So today we're talking about considerations. You can listen to our I think it was called Forever Proofing Your Home or something to that effect. Anita will put the link to that prior episode in the show notes. And that's where we talk about a lot of practical things that you could do. So you could stay in your home, wider doorways and curbless showers and grab bars and yada, yada, all these sorts of things, really drilling down to the details. But today we just wanted to explore and bring up the idea that downsizing is not for everyone. It might be for you, but it isn't for everyone. So take the time to consider before you make that move, because you don't want to be the couple that's knocking on the beautiful Texas farmhouse door, hoping you can buy it back for more money than you just sold it. Oh, that kind of makes me sad.
They bought a beautiful home, so they're fine.
Okay, I don't have to feel sorry for them.
It's a happy ending for them, so I think so. It's a beautiful home.
Good. Great. So what's your crush?
Oh, my goodness. I am so excited about my crush because I finally got these. Do you know those cabbage plates, the Bordello Pinheiro plates? They're made in Italy.
I don't know if I know that brand, but I know cabbage plates.
Okay, they're cabbage plates. These are the expensive. Okay, they're like $45 a plate. I've been lusting after those for a while. They're beautiful, but I just really had a hard time justifying that kind of price. I could not find them any cheaper. Well, I found something on Amazon that looks really just as good. Usually they're crap. This particular set of plates is as beautiful as the expensive ones, and they were about $10 a plate.
So for everyone that has been searching lifelong for a cabbage plate dupe in a more reasonable price point, your answer is here.
That's right. I know. It sounds stupid when you say it, but
the factory in China is going to be like, we can't make enough cabbage plates.
I'm telling you, they're a thing. They are gorgeous.
No, they are very, very lovely. Coming from you, the expert and connoisseur of dishware and all things China. Mm-hmm.
I normally turn my nose up at any dishes made in China. These, I mean, because they're such a savings and because they look as good as the other ones, I'm going to give these a pass.
Wow. Which is kind of funny because it's China made in China.
I know.
You don't like China made in China. But now this China made in China is good.
I'm just going to say China has changed because you're right. It was originally named when you bought these dishes and things, they were called China because they were made in China and they were very high quality.
Victorians thought that was so exciting. Things were coming from there.
Oh, and if it was made in China, it was more expensive than the English made versions of the same thing. But of course, now things are not made so carefully as they used to be. And there's a lot of junk being made there. I'm just going to say it that way. So anyway. Okay. So what is your crush so I can make fun of it?
Well, good luck making fun of this, girl. Okay?
Oh, gosh, what is it?
I'm sorry. And Anita, you know I am not making fun of you. I just love how passionate you are about that.
I know.
I do love it. Okay, this is practical. Hey, wow, tables have turned today. Sampleize, who we love for their very large adhesive paint samples, has now started offering countertops.
Stop it.
Drop the mic. Yeah. Yes. Because how hard is it to get countertop samples? I'm going to tell you, very hard, because I try to get them all the time for clients. You either get a tiny little square, or most of the time you just have to go to all these stone yards that are in undesirable areas, like the strip club with the all-day buffet next to the auto body shop with the scary dogs. Like, that's where they keep the stone yards.
Yes, I know. Yes.
Sampleize has countertop samples. I don't know how big they are, but even just to get something in your hand, particularly if you're choosing one that's a composite, because you're not going to get the variability that you would in a natural stone, you're going to get a really good idea of what it looks like. And, you know, with the whites, and we all learned along with you, when, you know, you were getting the countertop and then maybe white cabinets and then white tile. And you have said over the years, making that great point of, you know, you really have to be careful with your whites because you don't want your countertop to be different. And then one of them is going to look dirty. So anyway, all the reasons it's so important to get samples for anything you're doing, especially if it's a big thing like installing a countertop in a kitchen or a bathroom. Yeah, Sampleize. It's really good.
Well, that sounds great. And I assume that means they have partnered with some of these big companies?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, like they do with their paints. They have a curated selection. They have, you know, S&W, they have Ben Moore, and they have Farrow and Ball available in the paint. So I'm sure, I haven't explored to find out every single one of the partnerships they might have, but they have partnerships with some of the quartz designers, and, you know, it's probably all quartz, I would say, because to have real stone would be challenging because all the slabs are different.
Mm-hmm. Well, but that's very helpful. That's a lot of choices right there.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. And remember, we are here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time, fabulous, fun, wow, even better than I had hoped or expected. These are just a few of the words used to describe a DTT design consult. We've been doing consults for many years, and boy, are we good at it. And people are loving the results of the advice and suggestions that we make for them. It's so easy to schedule a consult with us. Just simply go to our website, decoratingtipsandtricks.com, and click consult. There you'll be led through the very simple process. And sooner than later, you, I, and Anita will be discussing your home in detail. So sign up for a consult today. Let us help you design and decorate the home that you want and deserve. Looking forward to talking to you soon.